Yeah, but why don't you just have a seat? Grab a booklet right there at the top. You see one of those things? Yeah, have it. Grab one. Boom. Okay, and then have a seat. Just join in with us and uh, and follow along. Okay, until you can get registered. But go ahead and have a seat. hmm Guys, I just realized I forgot to hit record, so we're recording now. Okay, number 5. So, guys, again, I'm doing the same thing here. I'm going to come back this way, y'all. PEMDAS, right? Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Guys, first thing I want you to notice, no parentheses. I'm not going to sweat it. No exponents. I'm not going to sweat it. I don't have any multiplying, but we do have some division right here, y'all. Now, guys, one thing I will say is that when you take the test, um, and the calculator is going to pop up at times, right? There's going to be certain problems. Like, if I'll put it this way, if it's asking you what's 3 times 5, guys, they may not give you a calculator because they're going to say, "Come on, you should know what 3 times 5 is," right? But if the numbers get a little bit bigger, they will provide you with a calculator, okay? And sometimes, guys, it's going to be a standard calculator, just a real basic one, and sometimes it'll be a scientific. And I'll show you those times when you need the scientific. Right now, for the most part, we're just going to use a basic calculator. So 240 divided by 8, y'all, is 30, right? And then 30 minus 2 should be 28. And boom, there is my answer, okay? All right, so y'all, let me keep scrolling down. Okay, we got a couple more here. So again, y'all, for a problem like this, I would say, well, look, again, if I go back to my please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? Y'all, if I come back to this problem here, 5 times 3, boom, I know that's 15. Y'all, I'm going to use my calculator for something bigger like 18 times 6, right? 108. And then we can go ahead and just add those numbers together. And 123, is that one of my options? Yeah, that's option C, right? Boom, and there it is. Okay. Okay, so guys, when we look at the next one here, and again, every single time I do these problems, y'all, I just tend to write this because look, I'm writing down 6 letters. It's not a lot, and it helps me figure out what's to do first. Okay, so y'all, first thing, no parentheses, no exponents, no multiplying, but we do have some division here. Okay, guys, we have something here where we are dividing by what number? We're dividing by 0. Okay, so guys, I'm going to do this on the side, just a little side note. Okay. Yo, let me ask you a question. If I ask you, say, what's 24 divided by 3, do you know what the answer would be? 8, right? Okay, now if I ask you why is it 8? Would you say that 3 times 8 is going to give you 24? Okay, let me ask you another question, y'all. What's 35 divided by 5? 7, right? Okay. And if I asked you the same question, why, would you say 5 times 7 is going to give you 35, right? Okay, let me ask you one more, y'all. Keep it simple. Oh, let's keep it easy, breezy, cover girl. What's 8 divided by 2? 4, right? If I asked you why again, you would say, well, 2 times 4 is going to give you 8, right? Okay, what number did we have? 48, y'all, divided by 0. Y'all, if I asked you, what's 48 divided by 0, what do you think you would put for the answer? Okay, and if I put 0 here, then we would say, well, 0 times 0, is that going to give me 48? Okay, so no, we're just kidding, not 0. What about 48? Okay, well, 0 times 48, is that going to give me 48? Oh, no, we were just kidding, right? Okay, what about 9? Why 9? Well, I don't know. What about 0 times 9? Guys, you notice that whatever we put right here, when we take 0 times that number, we're always going to get what number? And we're never going to get what number? You're never going to get the right number. Very good. Excellent. So, y'all, 48 divided by 0 is something that we say is undefined. Okay. Now, y'all, one thing I want to mention, if this piece here is undefined, If I have anything else in addition to it, whether it's a plus 3, a minus 12, squared, um, plus 16 divided by 2, as long as one of the part is undefined, y'all, then the whole thing, y'all, is going to be undefined. Okay. So, y'all, when we divide, the one number that we never want to divide by is what? Zero. Anytime we divide by zero, y'all, undefined. Okay. And that kind of explanation, like what we did over here, is the reasoning why, right? Because we can figure out, well, why is 24 divided by 3, 8? Well, 3 times 8 is 24. Why is 35 divided by 5, 7? Well, 5 times 7 is 35, right? But then when we try to do it with 48 and 0, it's never going to work, right? Okay, good, 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 good. All righty. So, guys, I'm going to scroll down a little bit further. Okay. Now, I want you to know, so we got, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It wouldn't matter. As long as one part of it is undefined, then the whole thing is going to be undefined. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. So even if there's a plus 3, a minus 7, it could be anything after that. But as long as that one piece is undefined, then the whole problem is undefined. Yeah. Yeah. Good questions. Good questions. All right. So y'all, on number 8, we have problems now that where we have some fractions here. Okay. Yo, when we have problems like this, and again, if we come back to the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally or the PEMDAS thing, yo, the way these problems are supposed to be thought of, even though they're not there, y'all, is we're going to do this. We're going to put parentheses, y'all, on the top. We're going to think of everything on the top. We're going to do everything on the top part of the fraction, y'all, and then we're going to come back and do the bottom part. Okay? So let's do this. Upstairs. When I'm looking at the upstairs, y'all, I don't, the parentheses upstairs, I don't have any exponents, but we do have some division. So we got to do this step first here, y'all. So look, I'm going to put 16 plus 8 divided by 2, 4. Okay. Now I'm still dealing with the top, y'all. 16 plus 4 should just be 20. Okay, let's come back and look at the bottom. Look, y'all, 2 squared. Remember what 2 squared means? It means 2 times 2, which is 4. Okay. Y'all, last step, we're going to divide. Anybody know how many times 20 goes into 4? 5. Boom. There's my answer, y'all. Okay. So, y'all, when we have problems like this, where we have fractions, we do everything upstairs and then we come back and we do everything downstairs. Okay. Uh-huh. It helps, right? It helps. Good. Yes. That good. I'm glad you said that, y'all. The PEMDAS really does help. It gives you an idea of where to start exactly. So look, y'all, we're going to do everything upstairs first. So 53 plus 7, y'all, should just be 60. Okay, now let's start taking care of the downstairs. Anybody know what 3 squared is? 9. Good. So we're going to have 9 minus 4. Now I'm going to come back again, y'all. 9 minus 4 should just give me 5. Again, y'all, you'll get that calculator at times, right? So we'll say, look, what's 60 divided by 5? 12? Okay, is that one of my choices? Boom, there it is. Okay. Y'all, one of the nice things about multiple choice tests is you already know the answer is always going to be there, right? It's going to be one of those choices, right? So even if you were to kind of guess, you got a 1 in 4 choice, right? 1 in 4 chance of getting it right. But it's always nice that when you work it out and you get your answer, oh, look, there it is, right? So, guys, again, I don't really ever recommend just guessing, right? Because then, like, what's the point? I mean, you can go take the test tomorrow or today and just guess all the way through. But I do the nice thing about it is hopefully whenever answer you get, boom, hopefully it's there, right? And if it isn't, guys, that just means we made a mistake. Okay. Okay, so y'all, let's take a look at this next one here. Again, Y'all, I'm going to think of everything on the top as being in parentheses. Okay, so look, let's do that. We'll do the same thing with the bottom, but we'll do the upstairs first. Okay, upstairs, y'all. First thing we got to do is work from the inside out. So we're going to do that 16 minus 3. So here I got a 38. 16 minus, I'm sorry, 16 minus 13, y'all. 16 minus 13 should be 3 minus 6. Okay. Now, again, y'all remember, if the numbers are right next to each other, that means that they are being multiplied. Okay. So 38 times 3. So, y'all, again, I'm going to use my calculator here. 38 times 3, 114 minus 6. Okay. So, look, y'all, 114 minus 6 should be 108. Boom. There's my top part. Now, let's come back and do the bottom piece. Right here, y'all. 3 squared. Remember, that means 3 times 3, which is 9, right? And so we have 9 minus 3, and 9 minus 3 is, okay. Last thing we're going to do, y'all, we're going to divide. We're going to take 108, and we're going to divide it by 6, and we're coming up with 18. And if you notice, boom, there it is, y'all. There's my answer. Okay, y'all, question like number 11. I remember seeing questions like this when I took the test, in addition to the regular order of operations. And what they're asking me to do here is they're asking me to check, okay, where would I have to put parentheses so that when I were to do those operations, y'all, we would get the number 21. And again, y'all, one of the nice things about these multiple choice questions is that you have choices here, right? So, y'all, if I was sitting where you're sitting and I'm going to go take the test myself, this would be my approach. So, first thing I would do is I would look at choice A. Y'all, when the numbers are right next to each other, that means that they're being multiplied. Okay. So, y'all, I would take my calculator and say, what's 3 times 9 times negative 2? And does that give me a negative 20, or does that give me a 21? No, it doesn't, right? It gives me a negative 54. Okay, so look, y'all, I know that my choice is not. Okay. Now, y'all, if you look at choice A and you look at choice B, they're really the same choice because everything here is still being multiplied. So it's like, okay, well, that's okay. I know it's not choice B. So now it's either going to be C or D. Now, look, y'all, the way we would do part C is we'd say, look, let's do what's in parentheses first. Anybody know what 3 times 9 is? 27. What's 27 minus 2? 25. But we want to get what number? Okay, so we know it's not C. Y'all, what does it have to be then? It has to be D, right? But let's work out D, just so that we know why. Y'all, if we were going to work out D, right? And again, we go through the please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, right? Parentheses would say, hey, you know what we got to do first? We got to do 9 minus 2. Well, 9 minus 2 is 7. And then we don't have any exponents, but we can multiply, and 3 times 7, boom, there's our 21, right? So we know that D would be our proper choice, okay? So, y'all, one thing I want you to know is about this problem, the way I approached it was let me go through each of the 4 choices that I have. And that's how I approach doing this problem, okay? Because, I mean, I can make up putting parentheses here or there, but it has to be one of those 4. You know what I mean? So I want to make sure that I go through those 4, all right? Process of elimination, that's right. Good, good, good. Okay, so, y'all, that's order of operations. I want us to go through ratios and proportions next. And then, guys, we'll take a little break and we'll come back and do similar figures and we'll call it a day. And then, y'all, we'll be back at it again tomorrow, okay? So, y'all, ratios and proportions. So, what is a ratio? A ratio, y'all, is just a comparison of 2 numbers. It's a fraction, okay? We can write it as like this, A to B, A with a colon B, or as a fraction. Because it's a math class, guys, we're going to be going with a fraction, okay? And it says, write each ratio in fraction form reduced to lowest terms. Okay, so let's see what we mean by this, y'all. it says the ratio of 15 miles to 40 miles. So look, y'all, I'm going to put 15 miles on the top. I'm going to put 40 miles, on the bottom. And y'all, the next thing we're going to do here is we're going to look at these two numbers, 15 and 40. Y'all, I gave y'all that multiplication table, right? So y'all, I want you to look here at the chart, okay? And the numbers that I'm looking for, y'all, are the numbers 15 and 40. And if I look at my table, y'all, where would you say you see the 15 and the 40 either in the same column going up or down or in the same row going left or right? Okay, 15 right here? Okay, but do you see 40 in the same row? No, right? Okay, but look, if we see 15 here and we go to the right, we also see 40, right? Okay, so they're in the same row as what? As a 5. That means we can divide them by 5. Look, y'all, 5 goes into 15 and 5 goes into 40 8 times. So again, y'all, just as a reminder, 5 goes into 15 3 times and 5 goes into 40 8 times. So y'all, that means we're dividing both of these numbers by 5, and that gave me a 3, and that gave me an 8. Now, y'all, just like we divided them both by 5, we can also get rid of the units. So it's just going to be 3 over 8 without any miles or anything like that, okay? Just 3 over 8. That's what we mean by reducing it to lowest term, okay? Or in the same row. That's right. So you can either go 15 and 40, but they're in the column of the 5. So 5 goes into 15 and 5 goes into 40. Or you can say, look, here's 15 and here's 40, but they're in the 5s, right? So 5 goes into 15 and 5 goes into 40, right? So guys, I'm a huge fan of the calculator. Don't get me wrong. I'm always a huge fan of the calculator. I'm a big fan also, y'all, of my multiplication table because my multiplication table, y'all, it's visual. I can see it, right? I can find those numbers, okay? So, y'all, let's take a look at the next one here. And it says, write each rate as a fraction in simplest form. So, y'all, now I have a rate. The difference in a rate, y'all, is the units are going to be different, okay? So, look, y'all, I'm going to do this. 5 shrubs every 15 feet. Okay. So, y'all, if I'm putting 5 shrubs every 15 feet, okay, um, y'all, first thing I'm going to do, 5 and 15. Let me come back to my chart. I see a 5 and a 15, y'all, in the 5. 5 goes into 5 one time, 5 goes into 15 3 times, right? Y'all, what that means is we're going to put 1 shrub every 3 feet, right? Okay. Yo, let's take a look at the next one. If we have 14 tables for 28 students, okay. All right, so let's take a look here, y'all. Let's see if there's something we can figure out. Y'all, I'm going to come back to my chart, okay? And I want to see, do I see a 14 and a 28, y'all, either in the same column or in the same row? In the 14s, right? So look right here, 14 goes into 14 one time, and 14 goes into 28 2 times, right? Okay, so look, y'all, we're dividing them both by 14. So what does that mean? That means that we have 1 table for every 2 students, right? If there's 14 tables for 28 students, that means that there's 1 table for every 2, right? That's all this part means here, okay? Y'all, let me scroll down a little bit further. And now we can talk a little bit, y'all, about proportions. And it says the proportion is when 2 fractions are equal to each other. So, y'all, one thing I want you to notice here, in the middle between the 2 fractions, we have an equal sign, right? So we have an equal sign here, y'all. And when we have an equal sign, the way we can check is we can cross multiply. What I mean by cross multiply, y'all, is multiply diagonally. So 6 times 2, that's going to give me 12. And 1 times 12, or 12 times 1, y'all, that's also going to give me 12. Okay. So 6, all we're saying here, y'all, in this part, guys, is that 6 over 12 is saying the same thing as 1 over 2. Okay. So I'll put it this way: 6, you can think about it like this: 6 students, 12 apples, 1 student gets 2 apples. That's all that we're saying here. Okay. So, y'all, the way we solve proportion problems, the way we figure out what is the missing value here, the way we find that, y'all, is we're going to cross multiply. So, y'all, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say x times 42. That's just going to be what we call a 42x, y'all. Then I'm going to multiply the other way. 7 times 30. So look, guys, I'll take my calculator. 7 times 30. That's going to give us 210. Okay. Now, y'all, the way we solve this problem here is we want to get this guy right here by itself. The way we get rid of the 42, y'all, is to divide it. Always to divide it. Okay. Yeah, that's right. So we're going to take 210, y'all. We're going to divide it by 42. And the number I'm coming up with, y'all, is 5. Is that one of my choices here? Boom. Choice D, right? Y'all, the way we solve these problems, we always go diagonal. We always take these numbers and multiply them. And we always take these numbers and multiply them. And then whatever number we have in front of the x, y'all, is the number that we divide the other number by. Okay? So we took the other number, 210, and we divided it by 42. Okay. Y'all, I'm going to do the same thing here. So look, we're going to go diagonally. So 32 times x is just a 32x. Okay. Y'all, I'm going to take my calculator. We want to figure out what's 8 times 28. 224. Okay. Now, remember, y'all, we always divide by the number in front of the x. Okay. So I'm going to take my calculator again. 224. I'm going to divide it by 32. 7. Again, boom. There it is. Right. Now, y'all, one of the things about these ratio and proportion problems, again, in addition to you seeing them on the TSI, for those of you who are going into like a nursing program, y'all, this is how you do dosage calculations. Okay. I'm sorry, what's your name again? It's okay. Oscar. Okay, so guys, suppose Oscar and I have the same ailment. We're both sick with the same thing. Okay. I'm a much bigger guy than Oscar, guys. Okay. So if they give me the same dosage that they typically give Oscar, I'm not going to get that. On the other hand, if they give Oscar the dosage that they normally give me, he might have a reaction because it's too much, right? This is how we do dosage calculations, y'all. So those of you who are going into allied health or nursing, y'all, you're going to see this stuff again because that's how they do dosage calculations. They usually do them based on body mass, okay? And that's just one example, guys, okay? But anywho, let's try this next one here, y'all. Again, we're going to go diagonally, okay, y'all? So we're going to go like this. And y'all, one thing I want to mention, people often ask me, when do they give me the calculator? Guys, for a problem like this, they would definitely give you the calculator, okay? So 15.87, 1.6 times y is just a 1.6y. Remember, we always divide by the number in front of my x, or in this case, my y. So I'm going to take 15.87. I'm going to divide it by 1.6. All right, 9 point, a whole bunch of stuff there. So look, y'all, I'm coming up with y equals 9.91875, right? Now it says round to the nearest tenth. Okay, the nearest tenth, y'all, means 1 decimal place. So we would look at 9.9. Boom. There's my answer. Okay. All right, y'all, what I want you to realize is that the first 3 problems, the way those problems were set up for me, y'all, was that we had one fraction equals another fraction, right? The problem that we did over here, The way the problem was set up, one fraction equals another fraction. The first problem we did right here, y'all, we had one fraction equals another fraction. Okay, that's how they're all set up. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up, y'all, is in a problem like number 4, okay, there's no setup for me here, okay? I have to set it up myself. So the first thing I'm going to do, y'all, one fraction, boom, equals another one. That's going to be my first step. Now, look what they say here, y'all. 2 out of every 5 doctors recommend a certain herbal supplement to increase energy. If a local hospital employs 120 doctors, how many doctors would you expect to recommend a supplement? So look, y'all, there's 2 out of 5 docs, and those 2 are the ones that recommend this supplement. Okay. Now, the hospital, y'all, has how many doctors? Okay, look, guys, see how we put the total doctors on the bottom? We're going to put the total doctors on the top, and we're going to ask ourselves how many of those would recommend. That makes the x my variable. That's right. So look, y'all, we're going to cross multiply. So I'm going to go like this. 5 times x, boom, that's a 5x. We're going to multiply here too, y'all. 2 times 120 should be a 240. And then, y'all, we can divide both sides by 5 because we always got to divide by the number in front of my x. So if I take 240 and we divide it by 5, y'all, I'm coming up with 48. And if you notice, that is my choice A. Okay. That's my choice A. All right. So y'all, I'm going to scroll down to the problem number 5. And again, I want to see if I can figure out what they're asking me to do here, y'all, in problem number 5. Okay, so let's take a look. Problem number 5, y'all, says to estimate the number of people in Springfield, which has a population of 10,000 who have a swimming pool in their backyard, 250 people were interviewed. Okay, of those polled, it said 103 had a swimming pool. How many people in the city might one expect to have a swimming pool? And it says round to the nearest whole number if necessary. Okay, so first thing y'all I'm going to do, one fraction equals another fraction. Okay, there's at least my setup. So look, y'all, they're looking at the number of people in Springfield. So the population of Springfield, y'all, is 10,000. They want to know out of those 10,000, how many of them have a swimming pool? Okay. So what did we do? 250 people were interviewed, and out of those, 103 had a swimming pool. So look, y'all, out of the 250 of the population, 103 of them had a swimming pool, right? Okay, my question to you is, y'all, when I look at this part right here and it says Springfield, which has a population of 10,000, do you see how the population of our subgroup, right, of the people who they polled was 250? That was our population. Now over here, y'all, we're going to put 10,000, and we want to know out of those 10,000, how many of them have a pool, okay? Again, y'all, I'm going to cross multiply. So x times 250 is going to give me a 250x, okay? I'm not going to get nervous because I'm going to use my calculator, and I'm going to figure out what's 10,000 times 103, 1,030,000. And then finally, y'all, we'll divide everything by the number in front of our x, which is 250. So let's divide that by 250. And I'm coming up, y'all, with 4120. Okay. And I'm going to say, look, 4120. And is that one of my choices? Yes, it is. Looks like it's choice A, right? Boom, boom, boom. And there we go. Okay. Y'all, the hardest part in this problem is trying to figure out how to set it up. But the one thing you know, you're going to have one fraction equals another. Okay? Always like that, y'all. One fraction equals another. Let's try number 6. It says the ratio of a quarterback's completed passes to attempted passes is 8-9. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do before I even finish reading the problem, one fraction equals another. Okay, look, the ratio completed to attempted. So that means that he attempts 9 passes, he completes 8, right? Okay, now look over here, y'all. He attempted 27. Y'all, my question to you, where do you think I should put my number 27? On the bottom. Boom. You guys got it. And the variable on the top. You got it, my friend. Great. So look, y'all, we're going to cross multiply again, right? We're going to go like this. 9 times x is a 9x. What's 8 times 27? ¿Quién sabe? Let's figure it out. 216. And then again, y'all, we always divide by the number in front of our x. Yeah, so which is 9. And we're going to end up with 24. Right? And you got it. Okay. Good, good, good. Okay, so guys, let me keep scrolling down here. We got a few more to do. Okay. Let's see. It takes Kim 26 minutes to type and spell check 14 pages of a manuscript. Find how long it takes her to type and spell 63 pages. Okay, so let's see, y'all. First thing, one fraction equals another. Okay, look, y'all, 26 minutes to type 14 pages. Okay. Find how long it takes to type and spell check 63. Y'all, where should I put the 63? On the bottom. Excellent, y'all. I could have stayed home today. All right, so look, y'all, we're going to cross multiply. 14 times x is a 14x. Okay. 26, y'all, times 63. I don't know. Let's figure it out. 26 times 63, 1638. And then finally, y'all, we're going to divide everything by 14. Okay, and let's see. Let's divide that by 14. And I'm coming up with 117, which looks like choice C. Right? Good. Excellent, y'all. Very good. Okay. So, y'all, problem number 8, very similar. Takes Mark 20 minutes to type and spell check 6 pages. Again, one fraction equals another. So 20 minutes for 6 pages. Okay. Find how many pages he can type and spell check. Whoa, look at that, y'all. 0.5 hours. Okay, y'all, first thing I want you to notice, the time they gave me was in minutes, but the time they gave me here is in hours. Isn't 0.5 the same thing as half an hour? Anybody know how many minutes are in half an hour? Okay, 60 minutes in 1 hour, but how much in half? So look, y'all, 30 minutes upstairs, and we're going to look for how many pages downstairs. So, y'all, the thing about this problem, almost identical to the problem we just did, except we had to do a little conversion here, right? We had to say, well, look, if it's 0.5 hours, that's really the same thing as 30 minutes. Good, good, good. Y'all, we're going to cross multiply again. That's going to give me a 20x. 6 times 30 should give me 180. So when we divide both sides by 20, I'm coming up with 9. And that looks like choice B. Okay. 9 pages, y'all. Good. Excellent. Guys, for the most part, most people do really well with ratio and proportion type problems because how you set up the first fraction tells you how to set up the second one, right? Good, good, good. Keywords. Good. Yeah, it definitely does. Yo, let's look at number 9. Again, this is going to be a very similar type problem. Again, and I agree with Oscar. Y'all, key words here is really gonna help me out. Look what it says. A punch recipe calls for mixing 3 parts of cranberry juice. So look, 3 parts of cranberry with 7 parts of strawberry. Okay. Now the next question says, or the next part of it says, find how much cranberry juice should be mixed with 63 ounces of strawberry juice. Yo, if we have the strawberries on the bottom, we should put the strawberries on the bottom here, right? And then we're going to ask ourselves how much of the cranberry juice do we need? Okay. So again, y'all, we're going to cross multiply. 7x equals, let's see, 3 times 63, 189. And then, y'all, we'll just divide everything here by 7. So 189 divided by 7, 27. Boom, 27. And you can see all that is my choice A. Okay. Good. Excellent, guys. Excellent. Very good. Um, Yo, number 10. Again, yo, these are all practice problems, but again, these are the types of questions you're going to see, okay, when you go take your TSI test. But let's take a look, y'all. Let's take a look at number 10. It says a 3.5 ounce of serving of beef has 3.8 milligrams of iron. So look, y'all, I'm going to put 3.5 ounces is the same thing as 3 milligrams, okay? Now, notice, y'all, I'm putting ounces on the top and milligrams on the bottom. And right now we have 5 ounces. So that needs to go to the top. And we want to know how many milligrams are in that amount of beef. Okay. So again, y'all, I'm going to cross multiply. 3.5x is 3.5x. What about 3.8 times 5? 19. Okay. Remember, y'all, we're always dividing by the number in front of the x, right? So look, let's take a look. 19 divided by 3.5. Y'all, look at the number I'm coming up with. Getting a lot of decimals here, right? 5.42 and all this kind of stuff, okay? Now, y'all, the directions are saying we want to round this to 1 decimal place. So, y'all, if I'm going to round this to 1 decimal place, just a little hint about rounding. This is the number. The 4 is the number I'm thinking about rounding. Y'all, in order for me to round it, I have to look at the number to the right of it, right? And if this number is 5 or more, then that number is going to get bumped up by 1. But if this number is 4 or smaller, then this number doesn't change. So y'all, my answer here should just be 5.4, right? Because that number there is smaller than 5. So 5.4, you can see right here, y'all, that's my choice B. Okay. Okay, so y'all, let's take a look at problem number 11. Problem number 11 here, y'all, says um, the adult daily dosage for a certain medicine is 80 milligrams for every 25 pounds of body weight. If a patient receives 150, if a patient weighs, 150 pounds, and he's to receive a dose of this medicine every 3 hours, find the amount of medicine he should receive in each dose. Okay, so let's take a look, y'all. Again, like I said, for those of you who are going into nursing, y'all, this is how we do dosage calculations, okay? So look, we're going to take 80 milligrams of medicine for every 25 pounds of body weight, okay? This person weighs how many pounds? Y'all, pounds here, we're going to put pounds here, right? We're going to put the number of milligrams over here, okay? So look, y'all, let's cross multiply. So 25x equals 80 times 150, 80 times 150, 12,000. Okay. And then we're going to divide everything by 25. Okay. So let's divide that by 25. Boom, 480. Okay. All right. So y'all, before I go on, I want to point something out here. When we did our calculation, this is talking about the what? The daily dosage, right? This is how much this individual is going to get in a single day. Okay. Now, this is how much medicine the person should get in a single day. Now, it says if this person is to receive a dose of the medicine every 3 hours, how much of the medicine should they get in each dose? So, y'all, let's think about it this way. If we're going to get 480 milligrams in one day, isn't one day the same thing as 24 hours? Okay. And we're trying to figure out how much they're going to get every what? Every 3 hours. So look, y'all, I'm going to set up a second ratio and proportion. So 480 milligrams for 24 hours tells me how many milligrams for every 3. So look, y'all, we're going to cross multiply again. 24x equals 480 times 3, 1440. And then we can divide everything by 24, 60. Okay. So I'm coming up with 60 milligrams. And if I come back over here, is that one of my choices? It is, right? So y'all, I hope when we did this problem here and we came up with 480, y'all didn't get nervous and think like, hey, hold on, that's not one of my choices, right? But again, it's not one of my choices, y'all, because that's how much we're going to get in a day. And they're saying, okay, look, we're not going to give this to you all in one shot, right? We're going to give you a shot every 3 hours. We're going to give you a pill every 3 hours, or whatever it happens to be. Or we're going to give you a tablespoon or a certain amount every 3 hours. So every 3 hours, this person was going to get 60 milligrams, okay? But again, we had to kind of go through that process, right? So, y'all, this problem, I like it for multiple reasons. Number one, most people who take the PSI class are going into allied health, shows you how to do dosage calculation, right? But not only does it show you how to do the regular dosage calculation, it shows you, this part shows you, okay, well, what would be the next step? And that's how we would break it down, okay? Again, y'all, I'm not trying to take over how they're going to do things, but this is basically what the approach is, okay? Guys, this is what we're going to do now. It's 11:15. We're going to take a 10-minute break, y'all, and then we're going to come back and do similar figures, okay? So, guys, one thing I want to do during the break is this. Let me stop recording for a second. Let me see if I can do that here.